Are you looking for emergency food options? Do you want it to be part of your short-term food storage along with your emergency bug-out bag system? In this video, I'm going to show you a food system that does just that. Stay tuned. Hello friends and family, thanks for checking in. For anyone new, my name is Russell Liston, and I'm here to help you as you prepare every needful thing. Like a lot of you, I've been working on emergency systems or bug-out bags for a long time, trying to find systems that work for me and my family, and food has always been one of those issues. Over the years, we've put MREs into our kits. We've also had these Daytrex survival or emergency rations in our kits, and thankfully we've never had to use them, but at the same time, they're not something that's very appealing to me or to my family, and they still have a shelf life, so they still go bad, and then they're not very easy to rotate into your regular food meal plan, so they just kind of get thrown away. I've never tried those 25-year survival buckets that you'll see on the internet or around town. They've never looked very appealing to me. My favorite system is probably the traditional 72-hour kit. This is where you go to the store and you buy a whole bunch of food that you know your family is already going to eat. You come home and you divide it up into little bags and then put those bags into the kit. And then after 6 months, you take the food bag out and eat it, fill it back up and put it back in the kit. Now, if you've ever done this, you know that the problem with this system is rotation. Rotation, rotation, rotation. These food bags are fun to put together once. But now you've just created a job that every 6 months or so, you need to go through that kit and recreate it every single time. It's a lot of work. And because you never take the time to rotate out that food, it just sits there and goes bad. Now, if you've been able to be successful at making this work, you deserve a gold star. Congratulations. All of these food options I've just mentioned can work, but what is the simplest way to do it? That was the question that I was asking myself. It's a pretty good question, and I think everybody obviously is going to have their own answer. So in this video, I'm going to share my answer with you. I'm going to call this system a portable pantry. And in my mind, the simplest way to make this work is just to have a container. I'm going to be using a bucket. And the way that this would work is you would take your bucket, you would go to your pantry, and if you needed to evacuate, and you would fill the bucket full of food, and then there you go. Your portable pantry is ready to go. The second best option that I was able to come up with besides just having a bucket is to have a bucket along with a list. And the list is something that you take the time to think out a menu plan, things that you'd like to take with you. It's very similar to my clothing system that I use for my bug-out bag system. It's just a way that you pre-plan out what you want to take so that in the event of an evacuation, there's not much thinking, it's just doing. So you take the bucket, the list, fill the bucket full of the things that are from the list, and you are ready to go. The third way, and what I want to share with you today in this video, is the system with the bucket, the list, and actually putting the stuff that's on the list in the bucket so that it's ready to go. The portable food pantry is part one of a 3-part system. The other 2 parts are the portable kitchen and the water system. We'll be discussing those in other videos. This food system is similar to the traditional 72-hour kit idea that I mentioned earlier, but I think you'll find that it's easier to work with because some of the steps have been removed. There are 6 steps that I went through to put this kit together. The first step is you need to decide how many people are you going to be planning for, and also how many days do you want to feed them. I'm planning to do a breakfast, lunch, and dinner with snacks and drinks for 3 days for 5 people. So that's going to be 15 breakfasts, 15 lunches, 15 dinners, along with snacks and drinks. I chose 5 because that's the size of my family. You'll be able to choose whatever number you want. The second step is the meal plan. This is where you kind of map out what you want to eat and when. As I thought through this process, I came up with a few criteria to look at to help me plan meals that would meet my family's needs. Let me share those with you now. The first one was familiarity. I wanted my family to be very aware of what this food is. I don't want it to be something weird or unknown to them. And I also wanted it to be something that's already on my shelf, something they're used to seeing, used to eating, and just used to having around. That way, it's easy to rotate back in because it's already part of our daily food that we eat. The second item on the list is dietary needs or allergies. You'll want to plan out meals that work with your family and that everyone will be able to eat. Or you may have to plan out some part of this meal special for those individuals so they'll have something to eat also. The next item is lifespan. Try to find items with a long lifespan so they can sit on the shelf or not have to be rotated as often. The next item is calories. I know this is going to be different for everybody, but I'm going to try to have about 2,000 calories per person per day. For food prep and cooking, I want to try to have as little as possible. I know that some of the items I'm probably going to pick up might taste better if they're warm, but they're still able to be eaten cold. In the description below, I'm going to share with you my list that I put together, just for you to be able to use it as an example. And I'll also leave a blank copy of that so that you can just fill in the blanks and not have to create a Word document or anything to make this happen. Putting the meal plan was probably the hardest part of all this project. But once I had the plan together, I was able to go to the store, pick up the items I needed, come home, and then do a little bit of repackaging. I tried to do as little as possible so that it won't be a big deal the next time that I need to rotate or take things out of the kit. Two things that I looked for while I was shopping was the shelf life. I wanted to make sure it was as far out as possible, and also on these cans, I like that they have a pull top lid. That'll make it super convenient to be able to get into them when we need to. I'm still planning to bring a can opener, but that'll be for just in case or for other items that we have in the kit as well. I won't take the time to go through all of the items in this video, but just so you know, as a reference, these items over here are the breakfast items, and then the lunch items, the dinner items, drinks, and then finally the snacks down on this end. Just so you know what you're looking at when you read through the menu list and know what's on the list. The next step is to put the food in the bucket. Again, I'm going to be using a typical 5-gallon bucket. There are a few different options when it comes to lids. I like this soft, flexible lid. I think it's a nice option. I also like this gamma sealed lid. I think it makes a good option to be able to get in and out of easily. The lid that I wouldn't probably use is the typical canning or bucket lid that just clamps on really good and it's hard to open and close. We're going to want to be able to get into this bucket easily, and this lid, although awesome, will be harder to work with. Some of the things that I like about a 5-gallon bucket is that they're easy to work with, they're somewhat compact, they're pretty durable, they're going to keep the rain out and the rodents out, and hopefully be able to keep everything nice and safe inside. One thing that I'm going to start doing is adding an extra bucket to the outside of the bucket. This way, in the event of an evacuation, I can take off this lower bucket and fill it with other items from the pantry or the fridge or the freezer, things that I want to be able to take with me, and I just need an extra container to be able to carry them and to take them with us. I've got enough food here to fill about 3 buckets. So I think what I'm going to do is put 1 day's worth of food in each bucket, along with some of the snacks and other things that are shared between the days. So they won't be complete individual 1-day buckets, but they will be close. Make sure that when you're packing up your buckets that you get your packing list or your meal plan put into it. That way when you go to rotate or change things out, you'll already have the plan there and you'll know what to do. The 5th step is storage. It seems like all food likes a dry, cool, dark place to be stored. So look around your house and try to find the best place you can to keep these buckets. It might be in your pantry, it might be in a closet, or maybe it's where you keep your other survival gear. The final step, and one that I am not excited about, is rotate. You're going to need to put on your calendar when things need to be rotated, or look at it every 6 months or so that you can change out the food that needs to be rotated. What I've got here, it's looking like the crackers. Those are the things that are going to go bad first. So just be aware of your kit, know what's there, and know what needs to be changed out. But hopefully if you planned it right, you'll be able to just take those items and put them right on your shelf and work them right into your normal food that you eat every day. If there are things in the kit that you don't eat or is not part of your family's diet, You may be able to donate them to a shelter or some sort of food bank to be able to help out those in need. My final thoughts on this system are to keep it simple. Make a plan and make a system that's going to work for you and your family. As you get used to rotating or changing things out, you'll come up with the best solutions that work best for you and your family. Whatever happens, try not to turn this into a science project. Take the time that's needed to rotate things and to keep things fresh so that if you do ever need it, everything is good and ready to go. I hope that this has helped you to see that there are some more options besides those survival bars or MREs or even that survival bucket, that there are other ways that you can prepare food or have food ready to go in an emergency. Today's assignment is to mentally or physically evaluate your emergency food system. Do you have one? Does it work? Have you rotated it lately? What does it look like? These are all little questions you might want to ask yourself and take a look at what you've got and see how well it's working for you. If you don't have a system, I'd like to invite you to give this one a try. If you happen to have an emergency food system that works, I would love to hear about it. Let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, please let me know by clicking the thumbs up button. And if you still haven't subscribed to my channel, I'd like to invite you to do so. Once again, I would like to thank you for your time, and may God bless you as you prepare every needful thing. Thank you.